what is recursion? So I had C++ in school. Okay. The definition of recursion was a function calling to itself. Function calling to itself is called recursion. This was the definition. Okay. School definition. But when I started learning recursion, when I was preparing DSA for interviews, recursion is magical. We can solve huge problems by writing few lines of code. So think about it like this. That you are in a dream. Okay, you are in a dream. Yes. So day before yesterday, I had a dream in which I was watching a dream. So dream के अंदर मैं dream देख रहा था. So it happens sometimes, right? That you are in a dream, you are dreaming, and inside this dream you are again dreaming, and inside this dream you are again dreaming. Imagine this sort of a situation. Okay. So this gives a feeling of recursion. So let's say there is a function called dream, and inside the function dream, you are dreaming. You are calling the function dream. तो dream function के अंदर dream call हो रहा है, like a function which is calling to itself. Okay. So in layman terms, when a function calls itself, it's called recursion, like the layman school definition of recursion, function calling to itself. We were not even taught that what's the purpose of using recursion. Why are we using recursion? But it was just a function calling to itself. Guys, you all know how to code, right? सबको पता है कि कैसे कोड करना है. Okay. You all have the boilerplate codes as well. So let's do one thing. Let's what is the first function that is called, like that from which the program starts? What function is that? It's the function main, right? It is the function main. Inside the function main, try calling the function main again. For example, let's say I'll just write one line. Okay. Please, Java people, please follow along. C++ guys, you can also follow along. Open the compiler and start doing this. Print a statement. Print a statement. Cout. Oops, sorry. Cout. Hi, I am Faraz. End of the line. So I'll put a endl. Endl means next line. Okay. So just do it, everyone. And please share the link of compiler. Compiler playground. Okay, wait. Let me share the link. This is the compiler. And after that, call the function main. That's it. Done. So what we are doing is we are printing a statement and then calling the function main inside the function main. Try to run this. Infinite printing. So it's getting out of bond. It's not showing me any output. It's not showing me any output. Let me open another compiler. I think in this compiler, it's not showing any output because there is an error. Okay, my compiler was a good compiler. Let's see if it shows an output in this. Nothing, just the boilerplate code. Cout statement instead of hello world. Instead of hello world, I'll print hi, I am Faraz. And then endl. And then I'll call the function main. Let's run this. Yeah. So here we can see the output. Here we can see the output. Nitya Ranjan is saying, please do it in Java. Nitya, यार ये तो बहुत simple है. ये तो आप कर सकते हो. You can do this, ना? You just have to print a line and call the same function main. It will keep on printing, hi, I am Faraz, hi, I am Faraz, hi, I am Faraz. It will keep on printing, keep on printing it infinitely. Okay. I'll show you what happens behind the scenes. What actually happens behind the scenes. Why is it calling it infinitely? Because the program starts on the function main. Java it's giving you an error. It's not printing. Even in my compiler, it's not printing. Have you opened my compiler? Let's see. My compiler it's not getting printed in Java. Let us try. Let's try. Replace with example. In Java, they have an example, right? Hello world. Uh, I am Faraz. Okay. This, let me call the function main. Oh, sorry, main args. चल तो रहा है. It's working. You have to pass this args. Your function main is accepting a string args, arguments. You have to pass this string as it is. That's it. ये function को तो function की तरह बुलाओगे ना. You will call the function the way function is defined. So you will have to pass this args. So when you do it, it will keep on printing your name infinitely. Is it clear, everyone? So what is happening here? Why is it printing it infinitely? Infinite कैसे print हुआ? Okay. Let's see what happens behind the scenes when it starts working. So do you guys know that there is a section of memory called stack memory? There's a section of memory called stack memory. Everyone is aware of it. Stack and heap sections of the memory. So whenever a function starts executing, which memory is it occupies? Which memory it occupies? Stack or heap? Or you don't know? Please write don't know if you don't know. Stack. Yes, it occupies the stack memory. Okay. Now what happens inside stack? What actually happens whenever there's a function call? Let me demonstrate it in front of you, everyone. So what happens when there is a function call? We had a function main. The program starts running from the function main line by line. Okay. And here we had a print statement. Just writing the pseudocode that print something. Print Faraz. Okay. Let's say this is the statement that you are printing, and after printing it, you're again calling the function main. You're again calling the same function. Algorithmically, this is the code. But what happens behind the scenes? So when the function main is called, main occupy some space in the stack. Main. It will occupy some space in the stack. That space will be allocated to the function main. Function main will then start executing line by line. The first line of the function main will run and the print statement will be printed on the screen. Okay, print statement will be printed on the screen. After that, second line of the function main will run, and second line of the function main is again calling the function main. So again, some space from the stack is given to the function main. Already in the stack, some space was given for the function main to execute. Now again, some more space is given to the function main to execute. The code is present here also, the code is present here also. This is also a copy, this is also a copy. Copy is being created. Copy of this function is being created. So now the function main, which was running, line number 1 was already done. We are on the line number 2. We are on the line number 2. Now the function will pause. It will get paused. You get pause hamara. Okay. Why is it getting paused? Because there is another function call to the same function, but there is a function call, right? Until unless we complete this function call, until unless we go to this function and completes that function, we will not be able to proceed further. That's why it is on a pause. ये wait कर रहा है. It's waiting for someone. Waiting for who? Waiting for this function to get executed, which is second copy, right? Second copy. So second copy will come in the stack. Second copy will start running line by line. Line number 1 of the second copy will run. And Fraz will be printed on the screen. Second line of the second copy will start running, which is again a function call, to the same function. So memory में, in the memory, again some space will be given to the third copy. Third copy will be created, some space will be given to the third copy. And the second copy will pause now. It will pause. Why is it pausing? Because it's waiting for someone. It's waiting for someone to return. है ना? There's a function call. First of all, this function call will get done. First of all, this function will return me something. That can be 0 also, return 0. Or that can be a void also, return void. Whatever it is. So we are waiting. So the second copy will also get paused. Third copy will start executing line by line. In the third copy, my name will be printed again. Third time. Then again, line number 2 will be executed. And again, there's a function called the ek aur copy banegi. One more copy will be created inside the memory. MAIN. Sorry. Yeah. So this was the third copy. Third copy will pause. Third copy will pause on the line number 2. And a fourth copy will start running. Fourth copy mein again line number 1 will be printed. And line number 2 pe it will be paused. Okay. Fourth copy also getting paused. It's waiting for the fifth copy to return, and it will keep on going like this. Are you guys able to understand what is happening here? So the first copy is waiting for the second copy, second is waiting for third, third is waiting for fourth, fourth is waiting for fifth, and it's a never-ending process. It's not gonna end. And they will keep on occupying space in the stack. वो stack के अंदर space occupy करते रहेंगे, करते रहेंगे, करते रहेंगे. कब तक करते रहेंगे? जब तक कि stack भर नहीं जाता, until the stack is entirely full. And when the stack is full, this will not stop. It's not going to stop. There's no stopping condition. Nobody is stopping this. First function calling to the second copy calling to the third copy, third is calling fourth copy, and so on. And the biggest problem is none of them is leaving the space. The first copy is still in the memory. It is not leaving the space. Second copy is also waiting for the third copy. Still, it is still present in the memory. ये कोई भी जा नहीं रहा. Nobody is leaving the memory. They are still present in the memory. They are still waiting for further function calls to return. So they are still occupying space. This is the biggest problem. कोई जा नहीं रहा है. Why? कैसे जाएगा? भाई ऐसे कैसे चला जाएगा जब तक कि उसका function return नहीं हो रहा? It will not even proceed further, right? So this is occupying space. This is also occupying space. It will keep on occupying space, and the entire stack will get filled. Entire stack will get filled, and the program will stop because you consumed all the memory. सारी की सारी space खत्म हो गई stack की. This is called stack overflow error. Stack overflow. इतने ज़्यादा function calls हो गए that the stack is full. This sort of code, although it is recursion, this sort of code is not useful because it's not in your control. आप तो program crash कर रहे हो. You are not even stopping anywhere. This is recursion, but we don't use such recursion. Okay. There should be a certain number of times that our code should run and then stop. कुछ बार चलना चाहिए और फिर रुक जाना चाहिए. It should stop somewhere. Okay. Now we'll see such a code where we can control recursion. Error name, can you say again? Stack overflow. Looking back at the example where we were dreaming inside dream and then dreaming inside that dream and then dreaming inside that dream, there should be a condition when you wake up and return. Otherwise, you will get into a loop, never-ending loop. Dreams में ही फंस जाओगे, dream के अंदर dream अगर देखते रहोगे तो. So there should be a point where you should wake up and return. Okay, otherwise you will get trapped. All right, let's solve the first question using recursion. Let's try to find the factorial of a number. Factorial of a number. Okay, 5 factorial. What is 5 factorial? It is 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. 5 factorial, simple, 120. Yes, this is what we will be finding using recursion. Okay, you can do it very easily using a for loop. For int I is equal to 1, I is smaller than equal to 5, I plus plus. You can easily do it, right? But let's try to do it using recursion. Let's try to write a function. Okay, let us try to write a function factorial. Okay, let us name that function as factorial. What should it return? Which data type should it return? Integer, right? Finally, the answer should be integer. What should it take as the input? इनपुट में क्या लेना चाहिए इसको? इनपुट में इट विल टेक द नंबर n. इट विल टेक द नंबर n जिसका इसको फैक्टोरियल फाइंड करना है. इट विल टेक द नंबर n whose factorial it is supposed to find. Cool? क्लियर है? यहां तक सभी को क्लियर है? नाउ लेट अस स्टार्ट राइटिंग दिस फंक्शन. इस फंक्शन को लिखना स्टार्ट करते हैं. लेट अस स्टार्ट राइटिंग दिस फंक्शन. You can use a loop to write this function. For int I is equal to 1, I smaller than equal to n, I plus plus. Simple लग रहा है ना? Easy. That solution is easy, right? Now let's try to be a little lazy. Let's try to be a little lazy. Okay, that's going to help us a lot in solving recursion questions. That what I will do is I know a function. ध्यान से सुनना ये वाली चीज, ठीक है? थोड़ा मैजिकल लगेगा सुनने के बाद. I know a function which can return me factorial of a number n. मैं एक ऐसे फंक्शन को जानता हूं जो मुझे n फैक्टोरियल रिटर्न कर सकता है. उस फंक्शन का नाम क्या है? व्हाट इज द नेम ऑफ दैट फंक्शन? फैक्टोरियल, जिसको मैं लिख रहा हूं. सो बेसिकली आई हैव सो मच कॉन्फिडेंस. पहली बात तो आपको अपने अंदर कॉन्फिडेंस लाना पड़ेगा. यू हैव टू ब्रिंग दैट कॉन्फिडेंस इनसाइड यू. You have to bring that confidence inside you that the function that you are writing is a correct function. It will give you correct answer. Okay, so this function is a correct function. It will give you a right answer. This function can be used inside the body of the same function. I'll tell you how. So I know a function which can give me the answer for n factorial. Can you pass n as 5? You can, right? Can you pass n as 4? If this function correctly returns the answer for 5, will it also return the answer for 4 correctly? Will it also return the answer for 3 correctly? And so on. It will return the answer for anything correctly, right? Because I have confidence in this function. This function will give me the right answer. Now what I will do is int partial answer is equal to, I call the same function factorial. I'll call the same function factorial and give it n minus 1. I'll say, okay, give me the factorial of n minus 1. I'm asking the same function to give me the factorial of n minus 1. I got the factorial of n minus 1 confidently. I have confidence in this function. It will return me the right answer. It gave me answer corresponding to n minus 1 correctly. Now, what should I do to make it answer for n factorial? Partial answer into n. And then return the answer. As simple as that. Think about it again. You are writing a function. Think about it again. जिसको नहीं समझ में आया, please think about it. I'm just letting you know step by step. The first thing is we are writing a function. We are writing a function which will give me the answer for n factorial. And I'm assuming, and I'm very confident about it, that this function is correct. This function will give me right answer. We pass n to this function. That n could be anything, and it will give me right answer corresponding to that n. Before even writing the function, before even writing the definition of this function, I'm pretty sure that it will give me right answer for any value of n. Then I start writing this function. And I know that n factorial, so 5 factorial is nothing but 4 factorial multiplied by 5. N factorial is nothing but n multiplied by n minus 1 factorial, right? I know this. N factorial is nothing but n into n minus 1 factorial, right? ये इस तरीके से लिख सकते हैं ना? We can write it like this, correct? So what I did is I used the same function. I got lazy and I used the same function to find n minus 1 factorial, and it gave me right answer. I'm confident that it gave me right answer. I stored it in partial answer in a variable called partial answer, and I multiplied it by n and then returned it. This is the solution. Now, am I ever stopping this loop? मैं कहीं इस loop को break कर रहा हूँ? Am I ever breaking out of this loop? No. It is again going to that infinite call of stack function calls, right? It will again fill the stack. There is no stopping point. I need to introduce that stopping point. Where should you stop? Tell me the obvious answer. Tell me the laziest answer. आपको किस नंबर का फैक्टोरियल बहुत इजीली पता है? Which numbers factorial do you know? The easiest number. What is 1 factorial? What is 1 factorial? What is 0 factorial? You guys know about 0 factorial? 0 factorial क्या होता है? 0 factorial is also 1. 0 factorial भी 1 है. 0 factorial also 1. Okay, let us put that as the base condition. If n equal to 0, return 1. This is the breaking or the stopping condition कि भाई अगर n 0 हो गया या अगर n 0 पास हुआ है, if n is passed as 0, or if it became 0 after passing, keep on passing it, then the answer should be 1. ठीक है? या सो इसको नहीं यहां पर करते हैं, ठीक है? लेट्स डू इट हियर. ये काम कैसे कर रहा है? हाउ इज इट वर्किंग? So let's again quickly write the code. Okay, let's quickly write the code and let's see how is it working. Int factorial int n. If n is equal to 0, return 1, base condition. Otherwise int I will be lazy and will ask the same function to return me the answer for n minus 1, and then I will find the answer. The overall answer will be n multiplied by partial answer, and then I will return the answer. As simple as that. This is the code. Let us see how will it work. Okay, let's see line by line. We'll also keep on creating the stack here. यहाँ पर stack बनाते रहेंगे. Okay, this is stack, and here we will keep on looking. So this is the function. Let's minimize it a bit. I hope you guys can still read the code, right? Code पढ़ पा रहे हो क्या? थोड़ा सा blurry हो जाएगा, recording में थोड़ा blurry हो जाएगा, तो इसको थोड़ा सा बड़ा कर लेते हैं, है ना? इतना ठीक है. Okay, let's see how this function is running line by line. So start with the line number 1. Let's say we pass here 3. We want to find 3 factorial. We want to find 3 factorial. Okay. What is the answer for 3 factorial, by the way? 3 factorial क्या है? क्या आंसर निकल के आना चाहिए? 6. 6. Correct. So the function starts running. Who is calling this function, by the way? Who will be calling this function? इस function को call कौन कर रहा होगा? The function main. Maybe the function main, right? इस function को main call कर रहा होगा. Main से from the function main we would have passed some value to this, right? So what is the first function that runs when the program starts? It's the function main. So that main will occupy some space in the stack. Main is occupying some space in the stack. Now main calls the function factorial with the value as 3. Main ने function factorial को बुलाया with the value as 3. Okay, it will start running. What will happen? It will create a copy of this function in the memory. It will create a copy of the function factorial in the memory. It will occupy some space in the memory. Which memory? Which memory I am talking about? Stack. Correct. So stack के अंदर it will be occupying some space with the value of n as 3, and main is waiting for the function. So main is on pause. Main हमारा paused है. Main is paused. Main call the function factorial. It's waiting for the function factorial to return the answer for 3 factorial. बैठा हुआ है main आराम से. Function factorial starts running. A copy of the function factorial is created in the memory. Function factorial starts running line by line. In the line number 1, there is a check if n is equal to 0. Is it equal to 0? No, it's not equal to 0. This line is skipped. Let's go to the next line. Int partial answer is equal to factorial of n minus 1. Is there a function call here in this line? Is there a function call? Yes, there is a function call. To which function? What function are we calling? Function factorial. So another copy of this function factorial will be created inside the memory. Another copy of this function factorial will be created inside the memory. Okay, काम करते हैं. Let us bring this down. Let's bring it over here and let's bring this thing over here. Okay. Now we are stopped at this line. We call the function factorial with n minus 1, which will be equal to 2 basically. And another copy will be created where the value of n will be 2 in the memory, right? So the function factorial where the value of n was 3 is on pause now. ये pause हो जाएगा. एक और copy, one more copy will be created inside the memory with the value as 2. Okay, cool. Main is waiting for the function factorial with the value 3. Function factorial with the value 3 is waiting for function factorial with the value 2. अब ये चलना start होगा. This function will start running line by line. First line again. N is equal to 0. Is it correct or not? N is not 0 yet. It is not 0. Skip this line. Next line. Int partial answer is equal to factorial of n minus 1. Okay. Again, there is a function call. Again, there is a function call. This function will also pause. This will also get paused because there's a function call. First of all, this function call has to be done. Then only this will start running again. Okay. So again, a copy of the function factorial will be created inside the memory with the value of n as क्या value जाएगी? N minus 1. Here n was 2. So 2 minus 1 is 1. Here the value of n will be passed as 1. Okay. Let's create one more copy. Let's create one more copy over here like this. It is paused. It is waiting for this function to return. The value of n that is passed here is 1. Okay. Okay. So main is waiting for factorial function factorial with the value 3. Function factorial with the value 3 is waiting for function factorial with the value 2. Function factorial with the value 2 is waiting for function factorial with the value 1. भाई सब एक दूसरे के वेट ही कर रहे हैं. This is what happens when you get lazy. You create a lot of dependency when you get lazy, right? दूसरे लोग पे डिपेंड हो जाते हो. And see, everyone is depending upon each other. Main function 3 के लिए वेट, फैक्टोरियल विद वैल्यू 3 के लिए वेट कर रहा है, एंड 3 2 के लिए वेट कर रहा है, 2 1 के लिए वेट कर रहा है. ओके, चलो. सो यहां तक हो गया. नाउ दिस फंक्शन विल स्टार्ट रनिंग, राइट? दिस फंक्शन विल स्टार्ट रनिंग. फर्स्ट लाइन, n is equal to 0. Is n equal to 0? No, no, it's not equal to 0, not yet. This line is skipped. Line number 2, int partial answer is equal to factorial of n minus 1. What will be n minus 1 over here? 0, right? N minus 1 will become 0 this time. Again, this function is going to be paused. ये pause हो जाएगा दोबारा. There is another function called to the function factorial. Function factorial. This time with the value 0. Okay? This time with the value 0. So, let's create a copy again. 0. Here the value of n is 0. In the line number 2, it's waiting for this function to return. Okay? It's waiting for this function to return. Sub pause pe hain bhai. Main is waiting for the factorial function with the value 3. Factorial function with the value 3 is waiting for factorial function with the value 2. 2 is waiting for 1. 1 is waiting for 0. Okay? Now, let us start running this. The function factorial with the value 0. First line, is n equal to 0? Yes. Now n is equal to 0. Then I'll simply return from here. This doesn't mean anything from me. I woke up from my dream. Okay, as simple as that. I broke the dream, woke up from the dream. This is the base condition which will now hit. The base condition will hit. Okay, now this particular function where the base condition is hitting is not going to call any further function. अब ये किसी को कॉल नहीं करेगा. Now the recursion stops. Unwind होगा अभी, ठीक है? Wind हो रहा था ना अभी, wind. एक दूसरे के लिए वेट कर रहे थे, कॉल स्टैक बढ़ता चला जा रहा था ना. It will get unwind. Shall we unwind this? Unwind करें, मजा आएगा इसमें. But you need to put focus. जैसे focus से ये देखा ना winding. With the same focus you have to watch unwinding as well. Okay, let's go back. Let's go back. This is gonna return. This is gonna return. Listen to this very carefully. As soon as a function returns, that gets out of the memory, that gets out of the stack. That particular stack memory which it occupies is gonna be free. वो free हो जाएगा. ठीक है? Free हो जाएगा वो. तो this will be freed. And this will return something. What will it return? It returned over here 1. 1 return किया ना? Return 1. It's gonna return 1. ठीक है? तो यहां से यहां मुझे 1 मिला. We got the value as 1. Clear everyone? इतना clear हो गया? Zero. The value of n was 0, right? Base condition got hit and we returned the value 1. Now who called this function? किसने बुलाया था इसको? Who called this function? The function factorial called this function only, right? The function factorial called this function. The function factorial with the value of n as 1 called this function. इसने बुलाया था. इसने बुलाया था. तो इसको ही value 1 मिलेगा. Right? It got the value 1. So here the partial answer became 1. This thing. The partial answer, it became 1. सही बात है? Partial answer में 1 आगे सेव हो जाएगा. Correct? And this function will start running again. It was paused. The function paused पे था. This function was on a pause. Why? Because there was another function call. Now that function called return. And after returning, it will again start running. ये दोबारा से run करना start होगा. Okay, it will start running again. Partial answer got calculated. What is the partial answer here in this case? Partial answer क्या है? क्या बनेगा? What is the value of partial answer? Everyone, 1. Correct, it's 1. Why? Because factorial of 0 returned me 1. 1 आ गया, ठीक है? Next line, int answer is equal to n multiplied by partial answer. What will be the answer? N was 1. Partial answer was 1. 1 multiplied by 1 was 1, right? So 1 will be returned. 1 will be returned. कहां रिटर्न होगा 1? ये कहां रिटर्न कर रहा है? Where is it returning? Factorial 2, correct. It's returning to this function जिसने इसको बुलाया था. Who called this function, right? So this will be returned like this. बना देता हूं लाइन. ये ऐसे 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 यहां पर रिटर्न होगा. The value 1 is returned. And as soon as the value 1 returns, this function will be erased from the memory. It will be erased from the memory because it returned 1. Got it, guys? समझ में आ रहा है? Guys able to understand? ठीक है, चलो let's proceed further. कहां रिटर्न हुआ? This function got the answer, right? So what's the partial answer here in this case? What is the partial answer? This function will start running again, okay? This function will start running again. The partial answer here is 1. You got 1. You got 1 here, right? Partial answer is 1. Now answer will be calculated as n multiplied by partial answer. What is the value of n here? The value of n here is 2. So 2 multiplied by 1 is going to give you how much? 2. So the answer is 2. It will return 2. ये 2 return करेगा. यहां पर 2 return करेगा ये. It will return 2 to the factorial 3. Correct. To the factorial 3. As soon as the factorial 2 returns, it will get out of the memory. Memory खाली कर जाएगा ये. And it will return something 2. Correct. Okay. Now the function factorial 3 will start running again. It was on a pause. It will start running again. Partial answer is calculated. What's the partial answer? 2. Partial answer is 2. Answer will be calculated. Answer will be n multiplied by partial answer. That is 3 multiplied by 2. That is 6. That is 6. So 6 will be returned. Okay? 6 will be returned to the function main. Main ने call किया था इसको. 6 will be returned to the function main. 6. It will also get out of the stack. तो stack memory जो है हमारी clean होती गई है. Stack memory got clean and we got the answer. This is how it works internally. Internally mechanism ये है काम करने का. This is the mechanism. This is not magic. This is just, how recursion works, how other functions work. Other function भी ऐसे ही काम करते हैं. Recursion भी ऐसे ही काम करता है. As simple as that. Thank you. Sure. Recursion is clear कि how is it working. It's not magic, but it looks magical, right? Now, one more thing. So Sujal is still asking कि main is copy. अरे whatever we put inside the stack is the copy of the code only ना. वो तो copy ही है. Function को copy ही तो जा रहा है ना यहाँ पर. Okay. Now the function main, right? Somebody is saying कि main को भी clear करो stack में से. The program ends. The function main is done. Function main's return statement hits, and the function main will also get out of the memory. As simple as that. Stack memory gets clear. तो stack memory क्या होता है? Like stack memory में क्या होता है? Let me show you the graph of stack memory. Okay. Initially इतना space occupied था. Then one more function came. This much space is occupied. Then one more function call came. This much space is occupied. Then one more function call came. This much space is occupied. Then this function returned. Then this much space is occupied. Then this function also returned. इतना space occupied हुआ. Then this function also returned. This much space is occupied. So the stack, in terms of the space that is being occupied, it goes up, then it goes down. ऐसे ऊपर जाता है फिर नीचे आता है, स्टैक का जो मेमोरी है वो, ठीक है, सिंपल। और यू नो लाइक हियर मैक्सिमम कितना रीच हुआ था, इफ आई एम फाइंडिंग एन फैक्टोरियल, अगर मैं एन फैक्टोरियल फाइंड करता हूं, लेट्स से इफ आई एम फाइंडिंग एन फैक्टोरियल, हाउ मेनी फंक्शन विल कीप ऑन स्टैकिंग अबव ईच अदर, कितने फंक्शन टोटल स्टैक हो जाएंगे बताओ? Like n will be waiting for n minus 1, n minus 1 will be waiting for n minus 2, n minus 3 till 0, right? So how many function? N plus 1. So that is the maximum functions which will be present inside the stack at a single time, right? So maximum stack कितना जाएगा? Maximum stack n चला जाएगा, n plus 2 या n plus 1 जो भी है उतना चला जाएगा. Maximum memory in the stack occupied will be equal to n plus 1 whatever. So the space complexity, look at it, very very nice concept. The space complexity depends upon ki what is the maximum stack size that you have reached. That is the space complexity over here. Space occupy कर रहे हो ना, you are occupying stack space. You are not creating arrays, you are not creating linked list, you are not creating graph. But because of recursion, you are using the stack space. That counts as the space complexity in recursion. We learned about it in detail in the next class, I think. But the maximum size of the stack that you reached is the space complexity, as simple as that. Big O of n. Yeah, big O of n. Okay. Simple. What if I will explain recursion like this using stack diagram and college teacher not aware of these things? Amazing explanation. Crystal clear. Okay. Thanks. Clear, clear, clear. मजा आ गया. ओके, मुझे मजा आया. काफी अच्छे से हम लोगों ने समझ लिया कि व्हाट इज रिकर्जन, हाउ इज इट वर्किंग. नाउ द बेस्ट पार्ट, लुक एट द बेस्ट पार्ट. We'll never think about these things. हम इसके बारे में कभी सोचेंगे नहीं. Never do this mistake. Never think about these things. I'll tell you a very nice way to use recursion to solve your problems without even getting involved into this. You should know this, but you should not think about it. It's too much time consuming. अपने दिमाग में ऐसे बनाओगे कि ऐसे ऐसे कॉल होगा, like the function will get called, this will pause, this will, no, we'll not do like that. We'll first learn how to use recursion in a very simple way. Okay? Shall we proceed and do that? Let's go. Given a value of n, print the number from 1 to n. Given a value of n, print the number from 1 to n. So I think I just need to print, right? I just need to print. I don't need to return anything. What should be the return type of my function? Void. Void. Function name. Function name क्या रखें बताओ? Tell me a crazy function name. Print n. Share. अरे यार. Logical names यार. Print n looks good. Print n. Okay. It will take the integer n as the input. The first thing that it's going to do is to print the given number and print the numbers from 1 to n. 1 to n print karna hai. We have to print the numbers from 1 to n. Okay. For that, what I will do is I will pass one more variable, int I. This I will start from 1. This I will start from 1. Okay. The value of I will start from 1. I'll print. नहीं यार, इसको ऐसे नहीं करते, इसको हम प्रिंट ही लिखेंगे. वरना सी प्लस प्लस जावा में गाइस फालतू में कंफ्यूज होते हैं यार. मतलब है नहीं कोई कंफ्यूजन वाला टॉपिक, बट अननेसेसरी, इसलिए आई एम जस्ट राइटिंग प्रिंट. ओके. प्रिंट आई. आफ्टर प्रिंटिंग आई, I'll ask the same function to print the numbers from 2 to n. भाई मैंने 1 print कर दिया. Let's say this I was 1 initially. मैंने 1 print कर दिया. I printed I. Okay. I printed I. Then I will ask the same function to print everything from 2 to n. Okay. So I printed I. I'll ask the same function print n I plus 1. N comma I plus 1. Simple, easy peasy. I have confidence in this function now. The first thing is to put the trust in this function. This function will print the numbers from I to n. I से लेकर के n तक print करेगा ये function. When I is equal to 1, this function will print the numbers from 1 to n, right? Now inside this function, what I will do is I will simply print I, and I will ask the same function again to print the numbers from I plus 1 to n. Breaking condition. The breaking condition is if I becomes equal to n plus 1, if it is exceeding, then don't do anything, simply return. If I is exceeding, then return. Okay. So एक बार तो ऐसा होगा ना that I will become equal to n plus 1, right? How many of you understood this? Write 1 in the chat. And 0 लिख दो if you did not. And raise hands. ठीक है? Poll कर ले क्या? चलो poll करते हैं. Class is very active, so let me do a quick poll over here. Poll का वो था website था एक poll, straw poll. Let me quickly create a poll. So I'll disable the chat for some time, okay? Please mark the poll, everyone. Let me see how many of you understood. Those who did not, please raise hands. Okay, I'll keep on unmuting them. Okay, Muskan, tell me. Muskan. Yasir Ali, tell me.
हेलो भैया, गुड इवनिंग.
Good evening. Yes.
भैया ये तो 100% क्लियर है. ये मेरा क्वेश्चन एक डिफरेंट था भैया. जस्ट आई विल टेक 1 मिनट ओनली. भैया
ये
आपकी
clear
जो, हाँ हाँ 100%.
Okay.
भैया आपकी जो डीएसए शीट है ना, जो आपने अपलोड की थी 2 इयर्स पहले,
Hmm.
वो मैं फॉलो कर रहा हूँ.
Hmm.
मतलब साथ साथ जो टॉपिक यहाँ पे चल रही है एंड जो वहाँ पे क्वेश्चन है वो मैं फॉलो कर रहा हूँ. तो भैया मैं उसके साथ कंटिन्यू कर सकता हूँ ना? लाइक वो अपडेटेड है ना? आई कैन यूज इट, राइट?
Yes, you can use it. उसका कुछ अपडेट आएगा ना, then I'll let you know through YouTube या Telegram कहीं से भी I'll let you know. Okay, उसका जो अपडेट आएगा.
ओके भैया, श्योर. एंड भैया जो यहाँ पे लर्नियर्ड में जो क्वेश्चंस जा रहे हैं मैं वो भी कर रहा हूँ. लाइक अगर मैं उनको कुछ क्वेश्चन स्किप करके आपकी शीट वाले क्वेश्चन कर लूँ तो कोई दिक्कत होगी क्या?
नहीं, ये भी करो.
इनको भी कर लूँ?
Questions also.
श्योर, थैंक यू.
भाई बहुत क्वेश्चन करने हैं हमें. बाय द एंड ऑफ दिस कोर्स वी हैव टू सॉल्व अ लॉट ऑफ क्वेश्चंस. क्यों फिर, इफ यू आर पुटिंग इन 6 months इन दिस एंड यू हैव पेड अ गुड अमाउंट फॉर द कोर्स आल्सो, व्हाई आर यू लाइक लैगिंग बिहाइंड, है ना? हम तो करेंगे रगड़ के सारे क्वेश्चंस. वी विल सॉल्व दीस क्वेश्चंस आल्सो, वी विल सॉल्व दोस क्वेश्चंस आल्सो वहां पर भी.
श्योर, थैंक यू.
यप. पुट डाउन योर हैंड्स इफ योर डाउट्स आर क्लियर. अनडिफाइंड यूजर.
हेलो भैया.
यस.
वहाँ n+1 ही क्यों है? मतलब n तक जाना है.
n तक जाना है. यस, यू हैव टू गो टिल end, but you have to stop as soon as I becomes n+1. Stop there, don't go further, right? Here with I equal to n+1, you are not even printing anything. We are simply
हाँ.
returning. It's going out of the range, right? It's just like you have to run a race. There is 100 meters sprint. 100-meter sprint. When will you stop? You won't stop before 100-meter mark, right?
हाँ भाई.
And after 100-meter mark, you will stop. So I'm stopping here. When I becomes equal to n+1, it is not going to print anything. It will not print anything. It will simply stop. Till n it printed, but n+1 it will not print.
हाँ अच्छा, ठीक.
Got it?
थैंक यू भाई. हाँ.
Next, Darshan, please keep putting your hands down if your doubts are clear.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Darshan, tell me. Guys, please mark the poll here in the chat, okay? Yes, Darshan, batao.
Sir, we also print the movement at the base case, which is I is equal to n, and then we can print 5 and return. After that, we return.
That you can do, but this seems simpler, no? What you are saying is, can we put the base as I equal to n, and then instead of returning, can we print and return? That's what you are saying.
Yes.
We can do that. Of course, we can do that, but it is simple. That will simply increase the number of lines of code. Okay?
Yes.
Okay, Darshan, you can put down your hand.
Thank you.
Thank you. Jay Prakash.
या थोड़ा बता दीजिए वो दो वेरिएबल क्यों लिए?
I और n?
हाँ.
n दर्शाता है, so n is representing the stopping point and I is representing the running variable. कि भाई I कहाँ से start होना चाहिए बताओ? I कहाँ से start होना चाहिए?
I 1 से.
Yeah, I is used for printing, right? 1 से start होना चाहिए. 1 print होगा, then the same function will be called with the value of I as
2.
And the same function, in that function also, same function will be called as with the value of 3.
इसमें I को इनिशियलाइज करना पड़ेगा ना, I इक्वल्स टू 1 बोल के.
वो तो फंक्शन मेन करेगा कॉल. द फंक्शन मेन विल कॉल.
ओके. हाँ, समझ गया.
Print n with the value of n as, let's say, 5 and I as 1, like this.
ओके, हाँ समझ गया मैं.
Cool. Lalit.
Hello.
Yes, Lalit, tell me.
Faraz, like I want to know, like if in the recursion section, if function is calling by itself again and again, so it's mean like if there is a for loop in this condition, so it's mean the complexity is also multiplied by them.
Correct. But we have not seen such an example where we are using for loop. Here we, so let me ask this to everyone, right? And I will enable the chat now. Everyone, please pay focus. Okay. So if the value of n is 5, how many copies of the function print n will be created? 6 copies. Correct. 6 copies. First with the value 1, with the value 2, with the value 3, with the value 4, with the value 5, with the value 6. 6 wale pe you will stop. 6 copies will be created. Got it? In the memory, there are going to be 6 copies.
Yep.
What will be the complexity in terms of each copy? Each copy ki complexity, time complexity I'm talking about. Look at this. What is the time complexity of each copy? Big O of 1. Absolutely correct. Only 3 statements. These 3 statements are constant, right? So if there are n copies created, what will be the total time complexity?
Of n.
Big O of n, because there are n copies created, right?
Yep.
होना भी चाहिए, if just think about it, it should be big O of n, because you are printing numbers from 1 to n, right? It should be big O of n. Correct. Time complexity तो ऐसे analyze हो जाएगी. This is how you analyze time complexity, that these many copies are created and each copy is big O of 1, so n copies will be big O of n. Now, for example, again a question to everyone. Let's say in every copy we have a for loop, big O of n का for loop. Okay, in every copy we have a for loop of big O of n, and there are n such copies. Then what will be the complexity? N square.
Like and yeah.
Absolutely right. This is something that we're going to look in the next class. Abhi nahi dekh rahe hain. I'm just telling you like how to think about it.
Yeah,
Just
got
imagine the number of copies when you are evaluating the space and time complexity. Imagine that how many copies will be created. N copies will be created and each copy is big O of n. So n square. Each copy is big O of 1. So big O of n. Each copy is log n. So n log n. So this is how we're going to look at it in the next class.
Okay. ठीक है. Done. Thank you.
That's a good question. Chalo. Next, Saurabh Shukla.
Yeah, same question. Like, what is the time and space complexity for this? So, if we are asked of space complexity, we will tell recursive of n, or what should we say?
Recursive O of n means?
Like recursive stack is taking n O of n space.
So you should say like this: because of recursion, there is internal stack memory that we are using, and the space complexity because of that is big O of n. You can explicitly explain it. So if the interviewer is asking, what is the space complexity of this solution, you can say we are using an array of size big O of n. So big O of n space complexity because of this. Plus, we are also using recursion. Recursion stack is being created because of that of big O of n, because of that big O of n square, whatever. And the total is this. You can tell it like this. Explicitly, you can explain to the interviewer that because of recursion, this much space, and because of the array. Okay.
Okay. Thank.
Yeah. Sudipta. Neha is also there, no? Neha Shetty.
Hi, भैया. Hello.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Yeah, भैया. Like, we should write return at the end of the code, right?
What should
Return
be
statement.
at the end of the course?
Return. I mean, return statement should be written at the end.
You mean here I should write a return statement?
Yeah, after the print.
It's a void function, then return statement can be skipped.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Neha, you want to ask something?
Sir, that like graph you had drawn, that I had one doubt.
Which graph?
Like space complexity graph, I guess. This one.
Tell me.
In this, how it's been occupying, I had some lag in that.
It is occupying because function copies are created inside the stack.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then the recursive call is made backward, right? Like in 3, 2, and 1.
3, 2, and 1.
When the factorial call just makes, like recursive call happens, it would be backward, right?
3 is calling 2, 2 is calling 1, 1 is calling 0. 0 is
Yeah.
returning to 1, 1 is returning to 2, 2 is returning to 3, and 3 is returning to the function main.
Okay.
Yeah. Done?
Okay. Yeah.
Guys, so this is the reason why this memory is called the stack memory. We will learn about the concept of stack. Stack is a data structure which is LIFO, last in, first out. The thing that comes at last goes out first. Last in, first out. LIFO. You must have heard about it. तो LIFO ही तो हो रहा है. सबसे last में कौन आया? सबसे last में factorial 0 आया. Factorial 0 came at the last and it got out first. LIFO, right? This is why that's why this memory is called stack memory. Please put down your hands if your doubts are clear. We are moving ahead, okay? Faizan is asking for us how I is iterating from 0 to 5. You mean in this I, because the function main is calling I with the value 1. So it is iterating from 1 to 5, right? From 1 to 5 it's iterating. Got it, Faizan? ऐसे increment होता जा रहा है ना further function calls में. You don't have to think about it in very detail कि how the function copies are getting created. That's the worst strategy to think about recursion. You should think about recursion that can you break down your problem into a similar kind of problem? Can you break down your problem into a similar kind of problem? Can a problem of printing numbers from 1 to n, can it be broken down into a problem of printing numbers from I to n? And maybe you can print the value of I, and you can ask the same function to print the value from I plus 1 to n. You have to break down the function into a similar kind of function, right? A problem into a similar kind of problem. Cool. Shall we proceed ahead now? Let's do some more practice. So given a value of n, print the numbers from n to 1. Now this is in the reverse direction, okay? Reverse direction. चलो इसको कोड कर लेते हैं. Shall we code this? Reverse direction में करना है. Okay, this is the result of the poll that I got. बाकी मैंने स्टूडेंट्स के डाउट क्लियर कर दिए थे. So again अगर कोई डाउट होगा I'll take some time at the end, okay? Yeah. So this is the Java code for printing 1 to n. Okay. अच्छा स्क्रीन दिख नहीं रही है क्या? Screen is not visible. Okay, wait. Is it visible now? Cool. So Java code में बता दूंगा आप लोगों को, पेस्ट कर दूंगा Java code भी यहाँ पर साइड बाय साइड. Let's solve this question of printing numbers from n to 1. Okay. n to 1 प्रिंट करके देखते हैं एक बार. Void print n to 1. N to 1. So int n will be passed to this function. N will be passed. Okay. First of all, what I will do is I'll print the value of n. After printing the value of n, I will ask the same function to print the values from n minus 1 to 1. N minus 1 से 1 तक, right? So I'll call the same function with the value of n as n minus 1. Simple. Where will I stop? So if the value of n becomes equal to 0, that means I should stop now. I have printed everything till 1. I should stop at 0 and simply return. Clear? And I will call this function with the value of n as 5. Let's see if I'm able to print the values 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Pass 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. How would you think about it? Think about it like this. You are writing a function to print the values from n to 1. Okay. This function can print anything from n to 1, right? That n could be 10, 20, 30, 40, 15, 16, whatever. So as I enter into this function, I will print n. So this is my responsibility. I will print n. And the same task, the similar kind of task with the value of n as n minus 1 will be handed over to the same function. हम भाई recursion से बोलेंगे, we'll ask recursion to handle rest of the task. We got lazy. We'll ask recursion to handle rest of the task in a similar way. So you broke down a problem into a similar kind of problem and use the same function to solve that problem. ठीक है? एक function है. That function is printing values from n to 1 and you are confident that function is working completely fine. You use the same function to print the values from n minus 1 to 1. छोटा सा टास्क आपको करना पड़ेगा. You will have to do a small task of at least printing n. n को तो प्रिंट करना पड़ेगा. इतना काम तो करोगे ना. मतलब don't hand him over the entire task. Don't pass n to him. Otherwise this will never end. You will pass n to him. He will pass n to someone else. He will pass n to someone else. Do the small task of printing n and then pass n minus 1. समझे? This is how you do it. छोटा सा काम हम करेंगे, बाकी रिकर्जन देख लेगा. करेक्ट. Is it clear? Trust the function. Trust is important. Everyone understood this? Write 1 in the chat. If it did not, then write 0 in the chat. बढ़िया. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, आगे बढ़े. एक क्वेश्चन और करेंगे, उसके बाद डाउट ले लूंगा. ठीक है? बोर नहीं करना किसी को. Given a number n, find the nth Fibonacci number. This is interesting. Fibonacci series find करनी है. Like given a number n, we have to find the Fibonacci. For example, if n is equal to 0, तो 0th term of the Fibonacci series क्या है? What is the 0th term of the Fibonacci series? 0th term of the Fibonacci series is 0 only. It is given f0 is 0. If n is equal to 1, what is the first term of the Fibonacci series? 1. If n is equal to 2, what is the second term of the Fibonacci series? 1 only. like the addition of last two terms. And n is equal to 3, what is the third term of the Fibonacci series? Addition of last two, that is 2. If n is equal to 4, what is the fourth term of the Fibonacci series? Sum of the last two terms, 1 and 2 का जो addition है, 3. Right? N is equal to 5, what is the fifth term of the Fibonacci series? Last two terms का sums, 3 and 2 का sum, 5. N is equal to 6, what is the sixth term of the Fibonacci series? Last two terms का sum of the last two terms, 8, and so on. Everyone clear with what is Fibonacci series? Fibonacci series में the nth term of the Fibonacci series is sum of the last two terms. So if n is equal to, let's say, 10, it is the sum of the ninth term and eighth term. इसका sum मिलके बनेगा. Okay, this is what you have to find. So tell me, if I write a function called Fibo int, it's going to return me an integer, Fibo of n. This is equal to what? Fibo of n. Oh, let me write the function nicely. Okay, let me write the function nicely. Yeah, so इसको कैसे लिखोगे? To find the Fibo of n, what do you need? What do you need to find the Fibo of n? You need n minus 1th term of the Fibo and n minus 2th term of the Fibo. n minus 1 or n minus 2th term चाहिए? Do you need n minus 1 and n minus 2th term? Yes or no? To calculate the nth term. Who will give you n minus 1th and n minus 2th term? The same function. Use the same function ना. उसी function को use करो. That function can give me nth term. That function can also give me n minus 1th term, n minus 2th term. So int a is equal to Fibo of n minus 1. Int b is equal to Fibo of n minus 2. What should you return? A plus b. Easy peasy. Simple. You wanted n minus 1th term, n minus 2th term. You use the same function to find those terms and added it together and return the answer. But what should be the base condition? Base condition क्या होना चाहिए? What should be the base condition? N equal to 0. So if n is equal to 0, what will you return? N equal to 0 पे, what will you return? If n is 0, if the term that you want to find is the 0th term, then what is the answer for the 0th term? It is 0. Completely fine. But what about the case when n is equal to 1? When n is equal to 1, the answer should be 1. But will you be able to calculate the answer with the help of this formula? क्या इस फॉर्मूले से n is equal to 1 का आंसर कैलकुलेट हो पाएगा? Will you be able to calculate the answer for n equal to 1 with this formula? If n is equal to 1, then n minus 1 will be 0, n minus 2 will be minus 1. This formula will not work in these both cases. यहाँ पर दोनों में काम नहीं करेगा. It won't work in both these cases. So there should be two base conditions. If n is equal to 0, return 0. If n is equal to 1, return 1. Or if I combine these two conditions, I can write n is equal to 0 or n equal to 1. In both these cases, return n. So 0 के केस में 0 return करो, 1 के केस में 1 return करो. There are two base conditions. Both these conditions will be handled. Other than 0 and 1, whatever the value of n is, whether it is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever it is, it will be calculated with the help of this particular formula. Only the 0th term and the first term cannot be calculated with this formula. How many of you understood this? Write 1 in the chat. बड़े तेज हो रहे हो. Good. It's good. Recursion is very simple for those people जो दिमाग नहीं लगाते ज्यादा, जिनको ज्यादा दिमाग नहीं लगाना. जिन ज्यादा दिमाग लगाते हैं ना कि भाई कैसे चल रहा होगा, हाउ विल इट वर्क, वो फंसेंगे इसमें, दे विल बी ट्रैप्ड इन दिस. I won't explain the recursion tree here ना. I won't explain how the recursion tree is working. वो मैं नहीं समझाऊंगा, वो नेक्स्ट क्लास में समझाऊंगा. ओके, वो हम डिस्कस करेंगे नेक्स्ट क्लास में. बट अभी मेरे को बताओ कि क्या इसमें कोई प्रॉब्लम है. अगर है तो हैंड रेज करो. इसमें देखते हैं. करेक्ट. एक क्वेश्चन और करवाना है मेरे को इसके बाद, और टाइम अभी अपने पास है काफी, है ना. टाइम बहुत है अपने पास, 9 बज गए, 9:30 बजे. यस वी हैव टाइम. आज तो टाइम पे क्लास खत्म होगी भाई. मैं डाउट्स ले लूं. कैन आई टेक फ्यू डाउट्स हियर गाइस? कैन आई टेक फ्यू डाउट्स? नो बोल रहा है भाई रूपक. रूपक को सब समझ में आ रहा है. डाउट्स लास्ट में लूं यार. इस वाले की, इस क्वेश्चन के लिए थोड़े से डाउट लेने दो. जस्ट 5 मिनट्स. ओके गाइस, रेज योर हैंड्स. अपूर्वा. Meanwhile, I will keep writing the code also. Apurva, बताओ. Tell me your doubt. बोलो. मैं नेक्स्ट को अनम्यूट कर रहा हूँ. अभिषेक.
Hello.
Yes, Abhishek.
Yeah. Hi, Fraz. So I
Yes.
have one doubt in the previous question. So basically, where you have taken that variable I to iterate from 1 to I to n basically. So in that one, what if you go with single variable? I mean, whatever the parameter we are giving in the function as n, first we'll call that function for n minus 1, and at last we'll try to print it. So will that work? Or
गुड क्वेश्चन. बहुत अच्छा क्वेश्चन है सभी के लिए. कि ही इज सेइंग कि ये क्या, ये तो रिवर्स प्रिंट किया ना. इफ आई वांट टू प्रिंट 1 to n,
yes,
1
yes,
to
correct.
n अगर मुझे प्रिंट, and I don't want to use I in that. Think about it, everyone. If I want to print 1 to n, and if I don't want to use another variable I, how will you do it? So for that, I think ऐसे करो कि you need to print 1 first, na?
Yeah. So basically, when it will return, I mean, when a stack call will get returned, at that time we will keep on printing in reverse order. So,
But that will be reverse order, na? That will be n to 1.
no. First, what I'm saying, we'll call this function for n minus 1, and then will try to print.
But if you call this function for n minus 1, then n minus 1 से लेकर के तो प्रिंट हो ही गया ना. तब फिर तो बाद में प्रिंट कर पाओगे ना आप वो. नहीं समझे?
Oh, sir, I'm not saying for this question. I'm saying for the earlier question.
अरे लो यार, लो इसको अर्लियर बना दो यार. लो, लेट्स मेक दिस अर्लियर क्वेश्चन. अब बताओ. टेल मी द कोड आई विल राइट.
Yeah. So the base condition will be if n equal to 0, return.
If n equal to 0,
Return.
Okay.
Then call the function for n minus 1.
Call the function for n minus 1. Okay.
At last, print the value of n. Cout n.
See out the value of n.
Yeah.
Okay. So ये फिर हमारा जो है, ओके लेट्स सी क्या आउटपुट आ रहा है इसका. 10 से स्टार्ट होता है ये, राइट?
Yeah.
अच्छा, इसको चेंज करना है. This will start from 10. 10 will be passed, then 9 will be called. Still nothing is getting printed. At the end, when it becomes 1, then 1 will be printed. Yes, correct. Then will come back, and then 2 will be printed, and so on. Let me put an end also here. आपने पहले से करा हुआ है रिकर्जन?
Yes, basically at placement I have done once.
हाँ ठीक है, बढ़िया. So guys, see what is happening here. ये थोड़ा सा अलग है from what we are looking at. How is it different? just think about it like this, कि we wanted to print numbers from 1 to n. 1 to n, we wanted to print numbers. We gave the responsibility to print the numbers from 1 to 9 to this function, and at the end we printed the nth number. समझ में आई बात? इसको ऐसे समझो कि in the line number 6 you are saying कि यार recursion, do one thing, you print the numbers from 1 to n minus 1 and I will then print the number n at the end. रिकर्जन को पहले बोल दिया कि 1 से n minus 1 तक तुम प्रिंट करके ला दो, लास्ट में मैं n चिपका दूंगा. मतलब see till now what we were doing is कि हम अपना काम थोड़ा पहले कर रहे थे. We were doing our task first and then asking recursion to handle the remaining task. Now we are asking recursion to just go and print the numbers from 1 to n minus 1 and I will print the number n. भाई गौरव ड्राई रन नहीं करो अभी इस चीज का, just try to understand how to use recursion. उसके लिए ड्राई रन नहीं करना अभी, इसको समझो कि यूज कैसे हो रहा है ये. Understood this everyone? ये अभिषेक ने बताया था ना, अभिषेक GG man, good doubt and good solution. Let's go to next one, SSZ.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
So I have two doubts. The first one is that since you mentioned that the time complexity is open, but still from considering the runtime's override to create this extra function and load it into the memory. So will it make it inefficient compared to loop? Second thing is that it's looking like whenever it is creating that new function, first of all, it will initialize all the variables, even if the variable is defined at the end. So is it true? These are the two questions.
Answering the second question, every copy of the function, let's talk about the Fibonacci function that we have been writing. Yeah. In this, whatever variables we are creating, int a, int b, whatever, they will occupy space and every copy will occupy its own space in the stack. This was the second question, right?
No, I mean, just like even if the variable is defined at the end, at the just very last, at the end of function, but still it will be initialized after passing the value, and then it will do the rest of the job, right?
Yeah, it will occupy some space, correct. Now
And
talking about
about
your
the
first
first
doubt.
one?
About the first doubt. क्या था first doubt? भूल गया मैं. अच्छा था कुछ तो.
So suppose there is some runtime, like there is that JVM or anything like
good.
that, or even the native code. So it needs to create that function, allocate some memory, and there is that
Yes.
extra overhead. Although we discuss only about the one-time complexity, so compared to loop, is it inefficient or not?
Yes, it is inefficient as compared to loops for two reasons. Everyone, please listen to this carefully. Everything that we can do using recursion can be done using loops. Everything that we do using loops can be done using recursion. Looping and recursion are same. Task-wise. Performance-wise, there's a difference. Why? Because in recursion, you call the same function again and again. There is a overhead cost involved in creating a function in the stack and then deallocating that memory, returning. So there's a context switch, right? एक फंक्शन चल रहा है उसको पॉज करके दूसरे फंक्शन पे जंप करना एंड देन उसको एग्जीक्यूट करना, देन जंपिंग बैक, that involves some extra time, that is a little bit inefficient. In terms of complexity, चलो ये तो मैंने बात कर ली in terms of actual time, but in terms of complexity, time complexity wise they will be same. Although recursion is inefficient because of the multiple function calls, being in the same function running a loop versus calling multiple functions again and again, of course calling multiple functions again and again will be costlier, But in terms of complexity, if we see, so complexity wise, it is same in terms of time complexity, because there also loop will be going from 1 to n, and in recursion also n copies are created. Complexity wise, it is same. Got your answer? I will answer one more thing. Is it clear till here?
Yes.
Now, talking about the space complexity. In loops, you don't use extra space. In recursion, you also use extra space. वहां पर और दिक्कत है. Space complexity is also more. Now, people are asking कि why do we use recursion? Recursion को use ही क्यों करना है? Because it makes your life very simple. You will see कि if you master recursion, dynamic programming will become very easy for you. I have solved around 250, 300 questions on dynamic programming just after learning recursion. बहुत easy हो जाता है. Code करना easy हो जाता है. Like to solve a problem, it becomes very easy. Like few lines of code, that's it. In loops, you will have to think कि कैसे कहाँ से क्या चलाना है. In recursion, you just have to hand over the task. अपना टास्क हैंड ओवर करो, recursion will handle it. कैसे हैंडल करेगा? फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर मेरे को फिबोनाची सीरीज का nth टर्म कैलकुलेट करना है, इफ आई वांट टू कैलकुलेट द nth टर्म ऑफ द फिबोनाची सीरीज, आई नो दैट आई नीड n-1th टर्म, n-2th टर्म. I'll ask recursion to do this for me. Recursion, give me the answer for n-1. Then I will say, recursion, give me the answer for n-2. He'll give me the answer. I'll add it together and I will return a plus b. As simple as that. Let me print the Fibonacci series, Fibonacci term, 5th term of the Fibonacci series. SSG, your doubt is clear, na?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yes. We got the right answer for the 5th term, right? Recursion is very easy to code. Okay, you want the answer for 10th term of the Fibonacci series? It will calculate. The 10th term is 55. Cool, guys. Anything else? Given number n, find the power of a raised to the power n. You have to find a raised to the power n. Would give you 5 minutes to solve this. Okay, 5 minutes दूंगा solve करने के लिए. Then we'll solve it together. चलेगा? बताओ. We'll think about it. And there's a question on lead code. ये lead code का question है. Let me figure it out quickly. Power function lead code. So, power. अरे एक सेकंड रुको. GFG का दे देता हूँ आपको. GFG पे भी अवेलेबल है पावर ऑफ एन का. ठीक है, या फिर जस्ट सूडो कोड लिख सकते हो आप. जस्ट राइट द सूडो कोड. मेरे को लगता है लीड कोड पे थोड़ा सा इसको कॉम्प्लेक्स बनाया है. बट व्हाटएवर इट इज, आई एम जस्ट पुटिंग द लिंक इन द चैट, द लास्ट लिंक ऑफ द चैट. ठीक है, ट्राई इट आउट. टेक 5 minutes. विल मीट आफ्टर 5 minutes एंड देन डिस्कस इट. चलेगा? अच्छा, लिख नहीं पाओगे ना, अभी तो चैट इनेबल्ड नहीं है. इन 5 minutes गिव इट अ ट्राई. चलो, okay. We are back, guys. So let me unmute the, sorry, let me enable the chat. ठीक है, done. Let's see how we can do this. एक बार जल्दी से देखते हैं. So one way to do it is like this, कि इसमें कुछ वो भी देगा क्या यार? Value of n क्या है? Value of n can be negative also. इसमें तो नेगेटिव वाली बात भी चल रही है, बातचीत चल रही है नेगेटिव वाली भी. बट लेट्स ओनली थिंक अबाउट द पॉजिटिव अभी के लिए. भाई मैथ डॉट पावर लगा दिया. भाई मैथ डॉट पावर मत लगाओ यार, इनबिल्ट फंक्शंस नहीं लगाने. इनबिल्ट फंक्शंस मत लगाओ यार. अच्छा, लेट अस डू वन थिंग. लेट्स डू दिस. ऐसे करते हैं कि इसमें ना एक फंक्शन हम लिखने का ट्राई करते हैं कि long. What do you use in Java for long? Instead of long, what do you use in Java? long. अच्छा स्क्रीन विजिबल नहीं है, सॉरी, लेट मी प्रेजेंट द स्क्रीन. अब दिख रही है स्क्रीन? इज इट विजिबल? ओके. तो log my power, writing a helper function. Okay, my power helper. So this function will return me डबल. भाई डबल ही होगा इसका आंसर मेरे को लगता है. समथिंग. ठीक है, डबल ले लेते हैं, कोई नहीं. Double same function I'm just copying. I just want to create a helper function with the same signature. Now let me name this as helper. Okay, let's do one thing. So what I will do is I will ask recursion for help. X raised to the power n is nothing but x multiplied by x raised to the power so x raised to the power n is nothing but x multiplied by x raised to the power n minus 1. Simple है ना? Just imagine it like this. 4 raised to the power 5. It's simple. 4 into 4 raised to the power 4. Correct? ऐसा ही होगा ना? This is how we write it. So x raised to the power n is nothing but x multiplied by x raised to the power n minus 1. Can I write it like this? And base condition बताओ. What will be the base condition? If n becomes equal to 0. So x raised to the power 0. Anything raised to the power 0 is x raised to the power 0, 10 raised to the power 0, 100 raised to the power 0, 1000 raised to the power 0, anything raised to the power 0 is 1. Anything raised to the power 0 is 1. This is clear? ये clear हुआ यहाँ तक? मतलब this code is clear? Everyone please let me know. This is the base condition and this is the solution. Like x into using the same function to find x raised to the power n minus 1. Easy? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this function. Return, I simply call this function my power helper, where I pass x and I pass n. Now you must be thinking कि भैया ये क्यों बनाया? Why did you create this? Why couldn't you simply use this? Most of the cases, you know, in recursion, I prefer creating another function by the name helper, my power helper. This function is the recursive function. This is the caller function. That's why I try to do, always I try to create a separate function. It's a habit that I use it like this, and sometimes it helps me a lot. We will see scenarios where it can help. Okay. So, अच्छा, power की जगह ये my POW helper. Do you guys think it will give me right answer? So let me try to run with some test cases. How to put test cases? Test results, test cases. अच्छा ऐसे डाल सकते हैं ना? ठीक है. 2 raised to the power 10 is the first test case. Second test case is 2 raised to the power 2.1 raised to the power 3. Third test case is 2 raised to the power minus 2. माइनस वाले केसेस को अभी हम नहीं ले रहे. माइनस वाले केसेस को नहीं लेंगे, अभी पॉजिटिव केसेस को लेंगे. तो 2 raised to the power 23 तक चला के देखते हैं. ठीक है, 23 ज्यादा बड़ा तो नहीं हो जाएगा ना? नहीं होगा बड़ा. नहीं, चलेगा चलेगा. इट शुड वर्क. लेट्स सी. Let's try to run this. Expected x raised to the power n की वैल्यू थोड़ा एक्सीड कर रही है लिमिट, बिकॉज वी हैव प्रोवाइडेड 23 हियर. 23 की जगह कुछ और प्रोवाइड करो यार. 7 प्रोवाइड कर दो. 7 देन इट शुड वर्क ना. टेस्ट केस थोड़ा बड़ा ले लिया मुझे लगता है. यस, टेस्ट केस थोड़ा बड़ा ले लिया था. नाउ इट्स वर्किंग फाइन. Like for 2 raised to the power 10, it's giving me output as 1024. 2 raised to the power 10 is 1024 only. Next is 2.1 raised to the power 3 के लिए भी the answer is 9.26 and the answer is same like what we got. Case 3, 2 raised to the power 7 का answer भी correctly we got it. Okay, is this clear till here? Everything is fine? क्या ये यहाँ तक ठीक है? सब कुछ Now think about the case of negative 2 raised to the power -4 क्या होगा? What is 2 raised to the power -4? because उसमें नेगेटिव भी दिए हुए हैं ना. 2 raised to the power -4 is, I think it is 1 upon 2 raised to the power 4, right? ऐसे ही होता है ना. 2 raised to the power minus n is equal to 1 by 2 raised to the power n, correct? रेसिप्रोकल हो जाता है वो. You guys remember this ना? क्रांति सिंह लाइन नंबर 6 को दोबारा एक बार एक्सप्लेन कर दो. Line number 6. Line number 6 is very simple. You use the same function to calculate x raised to the power n minus 1 multiplied it by x. क्रांति, शुभम, समझ में आया ना? x raised to the power n minus 1 को x से मल्टीप्लाई कर दोगे तो x raised to the power n मिल जाएगा. You will get x raised to the power n. स्टैक ओवरफ्लो आ रहा है जावा में. हाँ, आर यू श्योर? क्या एरर? मेरे को कोड पेस्ट करना. पेस्ट द कोड ओवर हियर, जावा कोड. 1.0 रिटर्न कर दो. 1.0 रिटर्न 1.0, दैट्स फाइन. जावा कोड देखता हूँ मैं एक बार. If n is equal to 0, return 1, else return x into my power helper comma n minus 1. ठीक. अरे सबमिट कर दिया क्या यार आपने? Did you guys submit this? तो नेगेटिव वाले केस आपने डाल दिए यार. नेगेटिव केस डाल दिए, इसलिए दिक्कत हो रही है. मैंने थर्ड केस चेंज किया ना. चेंज द थर्ड केस. थर्ड केस में नेगेटिव कुछ डला हुआ है, उसको पॉजिटिव करो. नेगेटिव का हैंडल नहीं किया है. वी हैव नॉट येट हैंडल्ड नेगेटिव. चेंज इट टू 7 और समथिंग. टेस्ट केस नंबर 3 में. Is it fine now? Is it fine now? In the test case number 3, change this -4 होगा वहां पर, उसको change it to something else. Change it to 7 or 5 or 4 or whatever. Change it to positive. Negative में तो फंस जाएगा यार वो. Now I'll tell you something. If it is negative, if it is 2 raised to the power minus n or something like that, then the answer will be 1 upon 2 raised to the power n. 1 upon 2 raised to the power n. ठीक है, यही आंसर होता है ना. 1 upon 2 raised to the power x आंसर होता है ना. if sorry, 1 upon 2 raised to the power n आंसर होता है ना if it is negative. तो what we will do is, we will very cleverly, what we will do is, if n is smaller than 0, then first of all I will pass n as minus n because I want to send positive thing only here. ठीक है. If n is -4, first I will calculate x raised to the power 4 using this and then do 1 divided by this thing. I will return this. चलेगा? Should it work? मतलब basically my power function is only gonna return me answer for positive values of n. तो n को positive करके भेजो. Send n as positive but then do 1 divided by this. ये समझ में आया? Otherwise simply return this. इसलिए using a separate function, the second function is sometimes helpful. You can flexibly use it. अरे people are saying कि instead of minus n use abs n. चलो ठीक है, abs n use कर लो. Absolute value of n pass कर दो. Pass the absolute value of n. नीचे भी, नीचे, अच्छा सॉरी नीचे चेंज कर देते हैं. अब एक बार let me try to run. Let me change the third case to make it -7. Test case में -7 डालते हैं. If I put -7 over here and run this, then correct. It is giving me correct answer. सही आंसर मिल रहा है. Absolute क्या होता है? Absolute एक फंक्शन होता है. It's a function which makes negative things positive. Absolute value दे देता है वो. Line number 10, please. Line number 10. Line number 10. Line number 10 is very simple. So, Hemraj, ये फंडा है. This is the logic. 2 raised to the power minus n is 1 by 2 raised to the power n. Mathematically ये होता है. This is okay. You got this, Hemraj? ये होना चाहिए. तो you use the function to calculate 2 raised to the power n and then do 1 divided by 2 raised to the power n. समझ में आ गया हेमराज? यहाँ पर ठीक है, तो ये कर रहे हैं. Now is it clear to everyone? Please write 0 or 1 in the chat quick. यहां तक क्या है? We'll optimize it further. पहले यहां तक बताओ. 0 or 1. 1 means clear, 0 means not clear. Guys, be quick in the chat. Awesome. So what we have been doing is we have been solving it like this कि n मान लो 5 है, तो 5 is waiting for 4, 4 is waiting for 3, 3 is waiting for 2, 2 is waiting for 1. ऐसा हो रहा है ना, like the function with the value n calling n minus 1, calling n minus 2, and it's calling n minus 3 and so on. Correct? Right? How many function calls are there? कितने function calls हो रहे हैं total? N number of function calls are happening, right? N number of function calls are happening. Now I need your focus because I only have 5 minutes अभी. 5 मिनट में क्लास रैप करेंगे हम लोग. फोकस चाहिए यहाँ पर. सब लोग फोकस से सुनोगे चीजें. So quickly tell me guys, how many function calls are we making in this case? कितने function calls हो रहे हैं? Recursive function देखो. Tell me how many function calls are happening here? n minus 1 to n minus 2, n minus 3, n minus 4 and so on. कितने function calls हो रहे हैं? What is the time complexity? कितनी बन रही है time complexity? कितने function calls हो रहे हैं? Big O of n. Correct. So every function is big O of 1. There are n function calls. So big O of n in terms of time also and in terms of space also. क्योंकि n wait कर रहा है n minus 1 का, फिर वो wait कर रहा है n minus 2 का till 0. They all are waiting for each other. Stack को भरते जा रहे हैं. Shall we optimize it? इसको optimize कर ले. Now look at this. ये थोड़ा सा मैथमेटिक्स है हल्का सा. So फोकस से सुनना सब लोग, ठीक है? X raised to the power n को how did you represent? You represented it like this: x multiplied by x raised to the power n minus 1. So the function which was responsible for calculating this can also calculate this. This is the funda that we used. सही बात है? जल्दी जल्दी बोलो चैट में. This is the funda that we used. Now we're going to use another interesting thing. X raised to the power n can also be represented as x raised to the power n divided by 2 multiplied by x raised to the power n divided by 2. It can happen now. For example, let's say if x is if it is x raised to the power 6, it can be represented by x raised to the power 3 multiplied by x raised to the power 3. Correct? In case if it is x raised to the power 7, then x raised to the power 7 by 2. What is 7 by 2? What is 7 by 2? 7 by 2 is 3, right? Multiplied by x raised to the power 7 by 2. Again 3. ये तो कुछ सही नहीं हुआ भाई. 7 by 2 is 3 only. इंटीजर्स के फॉर्म में बात कर रहा हूं मैं. इंटीजर के फॉर्म में बात कर रहा हूं. तो यहां पर सही नहीं हुआ. इन केस ऑफ ऑड यू हैव टू मल्टीप्लाई इट बाय x अगेन. So it is the equation is very simple. X raised to the power n can be represented by x raised to the power n by 2 multiplied by x raised to the power n by 2 if n is even. And x raised to the power n can be represented as x raised to the power n by 2 multiplied by x raised to the power n by 2 multiplied by x if n is odd. Can I say this, everyone? बताओ, ऐसा बोल सकते हैं? बोल सकते हैं, राइट? शैल वी चेंज द कोड क्विकली? कोड को थोड़ा सा चेंज कर देते हैं, चलो जल्दी से जल्दी कोड को चेंज कर देते हैं. तो कोड में हम क्या करेंगे? विल कैलकुलेट अ पार्शियल आंसर लाइक दिस. int partial answer is equal to my power helper x raised to the power n by 2. Simple. ठीक है? We got the partial answer. So if your n was even, in that case what will you return? If n was even, then क्या रिटर्न करोगे अगर n even था? तो बताओ. Partial answer into partial answer. ठीक है? Partial answer into partial answer you can return. अगर n odd था, then what will you return? Partial answer into x. ये क्लियर है सबको? प्लीज राइट 0 और 1 इन द चैट क्विक. क्लियर हो गया? इजी. है ना? चलो बढ़िया. लेट मी रन दिस. चलेगा क्या? रॉन्ग आंसर दे रहा है. किस केस में रॉन्ग आंसर दे रहा है? लेट मी सी. ओ, इट्स गिविंग मी रॉन्ग आंसर इन द केस ऑफ ये हमारे पॉजिटिव के ही केस में रॉन्ग आंसर दे रहा है. बट आई थिंक इट्स गिविंग मी रॉन्ग आंसर बिकॉज कोई इंटीजर हम लोग ले रहे हैं क्या यहाँ पर? आर वी टेकिंग एनी इंटीजर हियर? या, सो वी शुड कंसीडर इट डबल. इसको हम डबल लेंगे. गड़बड़ कर दी ना, इंटीजर डबल की जगह इंटीजर ले लिया. इसको डबल लो. इसको रन करके देखते हैं दोबारा. पार्शियल आंसर शुड बी डबल नॉट एन इंटीजर. अब रन करते हैं. चल जा भाई, चल जा. चल गया. सबमिट करते हैं एक बार. सबमिटेड. ठीक है? समझ में आया सबको? इसको करने की क्या जरूरत थी? इज अ गुड क्वेश्चन कि भाई क्यों कर दिया ये? पहले भी तो चल ही रहा था. अर्लियर ऑल्सो इट वॉज वर्किंग, राइट? ये क्यों किया हमने? इसको डिवाइड करके क्यों किया? अब मैं बताता हूं इसको डिवाइड करके क्यों किया. बताऊं? देखो, इट्स वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग टू सी. बताऊंगा तो उसके बाद मेरे को फीडबैक चाहिए आज बहुत सारे. डिस्कॉर्ड पे मिलेंगे. बहुत आलसी हो यार आप लोग. डिस्कॉर्ड पे मेरे को फीडबैक्स देके नहीं जाते. क्लास लेट कर देते हैं तो इसलिए मैंने क्लास भी आज टाइम पे खत्म करी है. सो आई वांट फीडबैक्स ऑन डिस्कॉर्ड्स फीडबैक ग्रुप right out of the class. So this is the last thing that I'm explaining and it's going to be very interesting. So earlier what we were doing is from n we were moving to पहले वाले सिनेरियो में n x raised to the power n से क्या किस पे जा रहे थे आप? And then this was a series. इस सीरीज में कितने टर्म्स थे to reach 0? How many terms were there in this series to reach 0? Some n plus 1 terms, right? Simple n plus 1 terms. So big O of n, right? Next. अभी n से कहाँ जा रहे हो? अभी n से कहाँ जा रहे हो आप? From n you are going to n by 2, then n by 4, then n by 8. ऐसे ही जा रहे हो, डिवाइड कर रहे हो. Every time you are dividing n by 2. So if you divide n by 2, it will become n by 2. If you divide n by 2, it will become n by 2. Then if you again divide by 2, it will become n by 4, then n by 8, and so on. And eventually, let us say you reach to 0 नहीं 1 ले लेते हैं. For the ease of calculation 1 ले लेते हैं. Next term will be 0. यहीं तक का कैलकुलेट करेंगे हम. Let us calculate this. Generalized term is n divided by 2 raised to the power 1. Here n divided by 2 raised to the power 0. Here it is n divided by 2 raised to the power 2, n divided by 2 raised to the power 3, and so on. और ये 1 को we will assume n divided by 2 raised to the power k. Okay, generalized term लिखिए. This is the generalized term. Now, how many jumps? 1, 2, 3. K jumps. K number of jumps are there. Let's find the value of K. Let us compare 1 with K. 1 is equal to n divided by 2 raised to the power K. 2 raised to the power K को cross multiply करो. 2 raised to the power K is equal to n. Take log on both the side. दोनों side पे log ले लो. तो log 2 raised to the power K is equal to log of n. अब जो पावर में चीज होती है वो मल्टीप्लाई में आ जाती है. It will be like K multiplied by log 2 is equal to log n. K की वैल्यू निकालोगे तो it will become log n with the base 2, or log n divided by base log 2. Log n divided by log 2 is log n with the base 2. So log n number of jumps are there. Log n number of jumps. So the number of jumps from n plus 1 got reduced to log n plus 1 or whatever. So the complexity reduced from big O of n to log n. Got it? Is it clear, everyone? All right, so we have solved enough questions on recursion, and thanks a lot for maintaining this level of patience. पता है कितने कम बच्चों ने ड्रॉप किया आज की क्लास? बहुत कम, very minute. Hats off to you guys for attending the class till the end. Those who did not understand this thing, मैंने थोड़ा सा fast कराया. You can rewatch this last part. ठीक है? वैसे बहुत simple था. बहुत simple था. We have done this in the past also. We have solved this series in the past also ना. ये हमने past में solve किया हुआ है ना. Okay, चलो. Great, guys. So thanks a lot for attending the class, and please give me feedbacks. And shall we do a quick poll here? एक poll कर लेंगे छोटा सा feedback ratings का कर लेते हैं एक बार. कोड दिखा दो. चलो कोड दिखा देते हैं. Don't worry, guys. You can give the feedback there. ठीक है? वहां पर दे देना जो भी feedback देना है मेरे को Discord के feedback group पे. Let me show you the code. This is the code. Submit कर दिया ना? It got accepted. Okay, guys. See you in the next class. We will be solving a lot of questions on recursion. बहुत मजा आएगा. ठीक है? ये अच्छे से करके आना ये वाली क्लास next time. जावा कोड आई विल सेंड इट टू यू. सारे कोड सेंड कर दूंगा जावा के. ठीक है? चलो. गुड नाइट. बाय बाय. वेटिंग फॉर योर फीडबैक गाइस. टेक केयर. डू द होमवर्क प्रॉब्लम्स. मिलते हैं फिर हम लोग. ठीक है?